In this video, I want to discuss the woman that killed her 2-year-old baby. Okay, the crime in itself is tragic, it's horrific. Killing a 2-year-old baby. What made it worse was that she was speaking in tongues while she was killing this child. Speaking in tongues. A lot of people who have this mindset that if you're speaking in tongues, it must be from God. Even though people these days, the churches don't discern what is being said. They don't discern it because they're too busy wanting to give the church a psychedelic experience, an emotional upliftment, that they don't even ask the question, what exactly is being said while the person is allegedly speaking in tongues? This person allegedly is having, quote unquote, a Pentecostal experience. There's a program I was watching a couple of weeks ago, and this voodoo priestess also went off into tongues. The same manifestation. She even made the sign of the cross while going off into tongues. Yet she was a voodoo priest. She denied who Jesus is. However, she just merely was going through a ritual because she was a Catholic. Okay, and Catholic and voodooism goes together, but I don't want to go into this at this point. I made videos where I've shown pastors who have murdered their wives, yet go to church on a weekend, speaking in tongues. And a lot of Christians find it difficult. They can't get their heads around it. How can you speak in tongues and yet carry out murder? Adultery, okay, but murder, and you claim that God is living inside of you. I will tell you why it's possible. Because it's counterfeit. And a lot of people don't want to believe that, because when you start to address the issue that this is nothing more than a counterfeit, you then got to question your church. You then got to question what exactly is happening inside your own church. When you're speaking in tongues, that you can't even do one miracle. God is there, the anointing is there. Yet not one miracle is being performed. This is what you call nothing more than psychedelic, psychological experience, or even memory. That wasn't God. And if you're going to tell me that when she killed her baby and she spoke in tongues, was that from God? However, wait for the shock. Everyone knows about the Jamaican woman who was caught allegedly shoplifting. She also went off into tongues as well.
I worship him. Kill me for worship. Kill me, Satan. Satan! God is to be worshipped. Hallelujah. 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 Adversary. Hallelujah. Daddy God. Oh God, in the name of Jesus, I bound you, Satan.
If I go to police, you're going to get arrested. You know that.
Hoping to distract the security guard. So at the drop of a hat, she also turned on this heavenly language, hoping to get out of this predicament. But this is what happens when you got too much religion. This is what happens when your supernatural mind has taken over logic and faith. And when you see the kind of things that happens inside these churches, you begin to realize the state. Nobody knows what drove her to it. Nobody knows what drove her to do that nasty and horrific crime, that you would eat your child while speaking in tongues. And the church will go on to say, oh, that was God. It's in the Bible. She's speaking in tongues. It's in the Bible. And you can't counterfeit it, because then you have to really examine. You have to then examine every quote-unquote Pentecostal experience. And it gets too disturbing, because you're wondering, is my church also deceived? You look at the strange way they behave, and you're wondering, is that my church? I've made many videos. We're going to sit down. I've made many videos showing these kind of problem in the churches. And do you know something? This is the proof that the church don't want to know the truth. They hide away from these kind of videos. They just want to continue being deceived. They don't care. They hide away from these videos because it's too disturbing. It's too scary. They rather remain blind, have their pastors killing, murdering, and go off into tongues, having members killing their babies, speaking in tongues. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. One woman says, when this is on preachers who murder, and one woman says that, well, he's preaching the gospel. This is a pastor who got done for murdering his wife, and the church defended him by saying he's anointed. Do not touch God's anointed. This is why African churches, because this woman is African, this is why they're in a mess. When you look at what they get up to, in their churches, when you look up the sacrilegious blasphemy along with strange teachings, it's no wonder that this was an earthquake that was ready to erupt. This woman killed her baby while speaking in rhymes and speaking in tongues. The next time you speak in tongues, or you listen to someone speaking in tongues, you ask, is it memory-based? What exactly are they saying? Who is it benefiting? Yourself? Do you know there's gurus, Indian gurus and psychedelics? They speak in tongues too. The voodoo priests speak in tongues. They said that they've been taken over by the spirit. They've been taken over by the voodoo god. And yet, you know something? We still can't accept. We still can't accept that something is seriously wrong, that you can kill your baby and eat it while speaking in tongues. That is sick. That is mentally ill. And the worst thing about it is, this woman, she had no support whatsoever. She must have had a breaking point. She must have had a breaking point somewhere, and they bombard her with more religion, more strange supernatural. They bombarded her with strange teachings, not seeing the alarm bells. Not seeing the alarm bells that was going off. You can see the signs. They spaced out. They're not quite right. They don't understand the Bible properly. And hence, this is what happens. Too much, how can I put it? Too much superstition on the brain. And strange pastors who don't even know the Bible. And this is what happens to you. This is the proof why I left Christianity and found Christ.